Hello, I'm Robert, Principal of Kennedy Cox Lawyers. Victoria is introducing significant changes to the rules governing deposits and progress payments under domestic building contracts. These reforms will affect both residential builders and homeowners. However, before we look at the changes, there is one important point to understand. At the time of recording this video, the new payment rules have been passed by Parliament, but they have not yet commenced. Unless they commence earlier by proclamation, they will commence on the 1st of December 2026. Until then, the existing rules continue to apply. So, what are the current rules? Under the existing Domestic Building Contracts Act, the maximum deposit is generally 10%, where the contract price is less than $20,000. For contracts worth $20,000 or more, the maximum deposit is generally 5%. For new home construction, the Act also uses familiar progress payment stages. These commonly include the base stage, frame stage, lock-up stage, fixing stage, and final completion. The Act prescribes the percentage of the contract price ordinarily payable at each stage. The difficulty is that this system was developed many years ago. Construction methods have changed significantly since then. Modern homes may involve prefabricated components, modular construction, specialized materials, and substantial off-site manufacturing. The traditional payment stages do not always reflect the way these projects are now delivered. The new legislation creates a more flexible system. Instead of placing all deposit limits, payment stages, and payment percentages permanently in the Act, the detailed requirements will be capable of being prescribed by regulations. This means different rules may be created for different categories of domestic building contracts. For example, a conventional brick home may have a different payment structure from a modular or prefabricated home. A new home contract may also require a different payment structure from a major extension or renovation. The regulations will be able to prescribe three important things. First, the maximum deposit that a builder may demand or receive. Second, the stages at which progress payments may be claimed. And third, the maximum amount or percentage payable at each stage. The most important consumer protection is the new proportionality requirement. Under the new regime, a builder must not demand or receive a payment that is greater than the amount directly related to the progress of the work actually completed. In practical terms, this is intended to prevent front-loaded payment schedules. A front-loaded contract requires the homeowner to pay more than the value of the work completed at that point in the project. For example, imagine that a homeowner has paid 60% of the contract price, but only 40% of the work has genuinely been completed. If the builder becomes insolvent, abandons the project, or cannot complete the work, the homeowner may suffer a substantial financial loss. The proportionality requirement is intended to reduce that risk. Where the regulations prescribe a maximum progress payment, the builder will generally be restricted to the lower of two amounts: the prescribed maximum payment for that stage, or the amount directly related to the work actually completed. This means that reaching a named stage may not automatically entitle a builder to the maximum percentage if the value of the work completed does not justify that amount. The reforms are not only relevant to homeowners, they will also have significant consequences for builders. Builders will need to review their standard form contracts. They may need to revise their deposit clauses, progress payment schedules, and invoicing procedures. They will also need reliable systems for assessing and documenting the value of completed work. Cash flow forecasting may need to change, particularly where a builder currently relies on progress payments that run ahead of the actual value of construction. Builders should also be careful about demanding payment before a stage is properly complete. Issuing an invoice does not by itself establish an entitlement to payment. The contractual stage must have been reached, and the amount claimed must comply with the legislation and applicable regulations. Builders should begin reviewing their contracts and internal payment systems before the new rules commence. Waiting until the commencement date may create unnecessary commercial and compliance risks. For homeowners, there are several practical lessons. Do not agree to pay a deposit exceeding the lawful limit. Do not make a progress payment merely because an invoice has been issued. Check that the relevant stage has actually been completed. Check that the work complies with the plans and specifications. Where necessary, obtain an independent inspection before making payment. Homeowners should also be cautious about requests for early payments described as material deposits, procurement payments, or supplier payment. The description placed on a payment does not necessarily determine whether it is legally permitted. Its true purpose and its relationship to the building work will be important. The precise deposit limits, payment stages, and payment percentages under the new regime will depend on the regulations. Builders and homeowners should therefore avoid assuming that the existing percentages will simply continue unchanged. The key message is this: Victoria is moving towards a more flexible payment system, but with a stronger requirement that payments reflect the actual progress and value of the work completed. For builders, this means reviewing contracts and cash flow systems before the reforms commence. For homeowners, it means carefully checking every deposit and progress payment request before paying it. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to the Kennedy Cox Lawyers YouTube channel for further updates about Victorian building and construction law. If you require advice about a domestic building contract, a progress payment dispute, or a residential construction matter, contact Kennedy Cox Lawyers.